everybody. Just having a little hot chocolate in my Super Dad cup that I got. What did I get this for? Father's Day or something?
Christmas.
Christmas?
Last year.
Last year. It's almost a year old. We are on study number 4 in our Search the Scriptures study, and we are in what book does it say there, Lydia?
1 Samuel.
We're in 1 Samuel, and this is my middle child, aren't you?
Mm-hmm.
She's a twin, so she's a middle child by 15 minutes. And she's going to help in a little bit by reading the scripture for today. In 1 Samuel chapter 3, verse 1 through chapter 4 and the first half of verse 1. And we're going to answer 2 different questions. And the first question is this. Notice the expressions used about Samuel in 2:18 and 2:21. And in chapter 3, verse 1, verse 7, and 19. What new thing came into Samuel's life in the experience described in chapter 3, verses 1 through 14, and why did Samuel have to tell the vision? And the second set of questions, what was lacking in Israel at this time, and what did God do to meet the need? Do you know places that need similar divine provision? Okay, now we're ready for the passage of Scripture in 1 Samuel chapter 3. Beginning with the first verse, and Lydia's going to read it if you're ready. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Read it nice and loud so they can hear it.
Okay.
All right?
All right.
There you go.
The boy Samuel ministered before the Lord under Eli. In those days the word of the Lord was rare. There were not many visions. One night Eli, whose eyes were becoming so weak that he could barely see, was lying down in his usual place. The lamp of God had not yet gone out, and Samuel was lying down in the house of the Lord, where the ark of God was. Then the Lord called Samuel. Samuel answered, "Here I am." And he ran to Eli and said, "Here I am, you called me?" But Eli said, "I did not call. Go back and lie down." So he went and lay down. Again the Lord called Samuel, and Samuel got up and went to Eli and said, "Here I am, you called me?" "My son," Eli said, "I did not call you. Go back and lie down." Now Samuel did not know the word of the Lord, and had not yet been revealed to him. A third time the Lord called Samuel, and Samuel got up and went to Eli and said, "Here I am, you called me?" Then Eli realized that the Lord was calling the boy. So Eli told Samuel, "Go and lie down, and if he calls you, say, 'Speak, Lord, for your servant is listening.'" So Samuel went and lay down in his place. The Lord came and stood there, calling as at the other times, "Samuel, Samuel." Then Samuel said, "Speak, your servant is listening." And the Lord said to Samuel, "See, I am about to do something in Israel that will make the ears of everyone who hears about it tingle. At that time I will carry out against Eli everything I spoke against his family from beginning to end, for I told him that I would judge his family forever because of the sin he knew about. His sons blasphemed God, and he failed to restrain them. Therefore I swore to the house of Eli, the guilt of Eli's house will never be atoned for by sacrifice or offering." Samuel lay down until morning, and then opened the doors of the house of the Lord. He was afraid to tell Eli the vision. But Eli called him and said, "Samuel, my son." Samuel answered, "Here I am." "What was it he said to you?" Eli asked. "Do not hide it from me. May God deal with you. But Be it ever so severely if you hide from me and anything he told you." So Samuel told him everything, hiding nothing from him. Then Eli said, "He is the Lord. Let him do what is good in his eyes." The Lord was with Samuel as he grew up, and he let none of Samuel's words fall to the ground. And all of Israel from Dan to... what's that word?
Beersheba.
Yeah. Recognized that Samuel was attested as a prophet of the Lord. The Lord continued to appear at Shiloh, and there he revealed himself to Samuel through his word. 1 Samuel 4, and Samuel's word came to all Israel.
Very good. Okay, the first question. Notice the expressions used about Samuel in chapter 2:18 and verse 21, and chapter 3, verse 1, 7, and 19. What new thing came into Samuel's life in the experience described here in chapter 3, verses 1 through 14? And why did Samuel have to tell the vision? Well, over and over we're told that Samuel ministered in the presence of the Lord. But until this passage, the word of the Lord had not come into Samuel's life, but it did come into Samuel's life in a very literal and a very powerful way in this passage. And it was under the threat of divine judgment that Samuel was forced to tell what God had revealed to him the previous night in the tabernacle. Second question, what was lacking in Israel at this time, and what did God do to meet the need? Do you know places that need similar divine provision? Well, at the opening of this passage, we're told that the word of the Lord was rare and that visions were few in Israel. Do you remember that, Lydia, in verse 1?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This is no doubt a direct result of the sin that existed in the temple leadership. God raised up another person, Samuel, to hear his voice and to proclaim his will. And the day in which we're living right now is in need of more Samuels to fill the gap. The failure of spiritual leadership in our nation and their lack of discernment is really something quite alarming. So may God raise up young men and young ladies like Lydia in our day and age that will hear his voice in the middle of the night. Hope you're having a great day. Hope this study's been a blessing to you. God bless and have a fantastic rest of your day.